Hey everybody, today is September 1st and today we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin and where I think it's going to go in the month of September. Before we begin, please read the disclaimer. You can pause this video as you read it. Okay, so today we just had a monthly close for the month of August. And switch to a clean chart. So the month of August closed red. We closed down right below the 50-month moving average, right? But overall, even though we had a red month, we still are looking good, right? From a long-term secular trend, we are still in a bull market, right? Despite the bear market last year and, of course, this pullback this month, right? Now, it does seem like we are holding around 26,000 for now, which was also, oops, get my drawing tool, which is also our local low, right, back in June. So it does seem like the market wants to try to test this area around 26,000 as support, right? If we're not able to hold this, I think it can get pretty ugly. We probably will come down to test at least, because right now this support level is very important, right? Around 25 to 26,000. And we are slightly above it, but we're still in this local zone, right, of 26,000. This is our previous resistance level, right? So we want to hold this as, because usually previous resistance end up being support. So if we do come down and break below this support line, it could get pretty ugly. We can come down and perhaps retest 20,000, right? Which is what we don't want to see because we want to hold this trend. If you follow my Twitter page, I talk about how I believe that this trend is going to be different from the 2019 to 2021 trend. I believe that this market cycle is going to look more like 2016, 2017, right? Where it's a little bit slower and steady instead of having sprint consolidation and sprint. It's going to be more of like a slow, steady into a more parabolic rise into, if you are to believe the 4-year trend, the 2025 bull market top, right? Now, in my post last week, and by the way, if you haven't followed me yet on Twitter, please follow me at EddieLux_. So I said Bitcoin continues slow and steady, but needs to reclaim 200-week simple moving average support, right? So in my last post last week, the 200-week was taken out, and it still is actually under the 200-week. So generally speaking, we want to reclaim this level as soon as possible because historically, Bitcoin has stayed above the 200-week in the bull market, right? If you look at all the way back to 2015, right? When we went below, we quickly reclaimed that level. 2019, 2020 pandemic crash, right? The 200 over and over again over the last 10 years plus, right? Bitcoin has, the 200-week moving average has always been a very important long-term support level on the weekly chart, right? The 200-week moving average, and right now we are below it. However, I have to say that this is the longest time we spent under it in 2022, right? So I'm not surprised that the bears are trying to force the price down to see if we can actually hold this level, right? So this is why we retested over here and back in June, and we're currently trying to retest this level again under. So we're still under, and we got rejected earlier due to there was the Grayscale pump just a couple of days ago, and that completely got faded. And yeah, so now we've retraced that completely, but we're still holding 26,000, right, for now, right? So this is a very important level because we basically, the bulls have been trying to hold this level as support for what, like over 6 months now, right? So if we lose the level again, I believe that we're probably going to plunge down to 20,000 if that's the case. But the bulls really want to put in the work and hold in for now, and hopefully we can continue my thesis where we're having a cycle that's closer to 2016, 2017 bull market, right? Where it's more slow and steady, where things take time to staircase, and it takes more time for us to build support, right? We're not just gonna go straight up and then sideways, right? Probably, right? This looks more like what we saw here in 2016 to 2017, where we take our time, right? And so the price action probably is going to be sort of like what we're seeing now, where it's just really boring and sideways. But you know what? On the positive note, this is a healthier market cycle, and it gives people more time to accumulate, right? If this is to be a bull cycle that continues up high, right? Obviously, the market can do whatever it wants. If the stock market crashes, this will probably crash as well. But for now, as long as we hold 26,000, I'm still optimistic. But we really need to reclaim the 200 day and the 200-week moving averages for me to really be even more optimistic, right? But the fear and greed right now is in neutral, right? It was oh sorry, this is the stock market. The fear and greed is 40 right now. It's fear, and if you recall on our last videos, it was stuck in sorry, it was in greed for a while now, but now it's in fear. So So the fact that it's in fear now, this is the time to start thinking about potentially buying position, right? You don't want to buy when there's too much greed. The best time to buy is fear, right? Of course, this is not financial advice. You gotta do your own research, but historically speaking, when the fear and greed index is in a fear zone to extreme fear, that's usually the best opportunity, the best risk reward, right? And so, of course, we still want to see if we can hold 26,000, right? The fact that we faded this incredible rally a couple days ago. Again, this is the Grayscale SEC battle. Grayscale won, by the way, but we've completely faded that. And yeah, there was no real fundamental, so it looks more like a technical thing, right? The bears really trying to put in the work to, push the bulls around. But as long as we hold 26,000, I think we should be fine. Hold that and cultivate, turn that from support, from resistance to support, right? Resistance over here to support. But for now, what we can see for the month of August is that we want to see us at least hold 26,000, right? If we can hold 26,000, I think the fact that we had such a violent dump over here, and then the fact that we retrace this completely within 2 days shows me that the bulls probably aren't ready to just pump this up, right? I think that's what we're going to see in September is we're probably going to see the market continue to move sideways and cultivate support before pushing up higher, because I don't think the bulls have the confidence to take risky positions to push the price up, right? So I think we're going to see something like we saw in December, where we had a huge flush down, and then basically we went sideways for almost 2 months, right? The bulls trying their best to hold these levels and absorb the supply from the bears, and then finally the bulls had more confidence after holding it for almost 2 months, and then they pushed the price up with more leveraged bets, right? So I think that's what we're probably going to see in September, is we're probably going to see the bulls trying to defend this 26,000 level, and if they're able to absorb enough supply from the bears, because right now there's a lot of sell orders, right? If they're able to absorb that supply, I think the bears are going to get discouraged, and people are going to start to exit their short positions, and we're going to see more pressure to the upside leading into October, right? And yeah, so that is my short-term or monthly forecast for September. I think that it's unlikely that we just push up unless there's like some incredible fundamental news, like the SEC approves all the spot ETFs, but they keep delaying it, right? They just delayed it today, or yeah. So yeah, I think the probability of it going sideways versus going higher is a lot higher than it just exploding higher. But there's also a possibility that we could lose the support and go down. If that is the case, probably go down to this support level at 20,000. But we really don't want to see that. If that does happen, we'll definitely make an update. But for now, I think the probability is a lot higher that we just go sideways. The bulls want to absorb the supply and build their confidence up before taking more risky bets to push the price higher, right? So let's look at more other data. So the hash rate is still looking good, but we've had a minor pullback over the last couple of sessions. But overall, it's still looking very healthy, right? We're still pushing up higher. So we're gonna look at some charts. Okay, so we got the 2-year multiplier over here, and the 2-year multiplier, it tells you basically when it could be a good time to buy or to sell Bitcoin. When it's below the green line, that usually is a good time to buy. When it's above the red line or close to the red line, that's usually a good time to sell. So what we're seeing right now is this green line, the price has been below the green line for basically over a year now. And this is the longest we've ever been under, even longer than 2015, right? And so this again could support my thesis that this is going to be a longer cycle than what we've seen in the last cycle, right? But it could also be a healthier cycle because it's not, pushing too quickly right to the top. It's not taking these big sprints that run out of steam, right? And by building a strong base of support, that could really give us more foundation to push up higher, even higher in a percentage than we had in our last bull run, right? A lot of people were disappointed because we didn't break 100,000, but we could see them break 100,000 this time, right? Or even higher. You can see the top of the red line is 160,000. We might even go higher than that. By the time this breaks above, this will start to trend higher as the price goes higher above the green line, right? So yeah, like I said, this is the longest we've ever been, and it's still under, right? It's still under the green line. which historically has been a good time to buy. Obviously, this is not financial advice. You have to do your own due diligence, do your own research. But if you just look at the price of Bitcoin going back over 10 years, every time it's been under the green line, right? This has been a good time to buy historically speaking, right? Pi cycle top indicator tells us when to sell, right? When we have the dotted lines, right? But this is also a good time it's a good way to tell you when we're in a bull market, right? When the price of Bitcoin is above the orange line and stays above the orange line, that's usually a sign of a bull market. But we can see that sometimes we come down and we'll retest this orange line, even go below it. And during the most extreme is during the pandemic where we came down, but that everything was crashing at that point, so that's more of an outlier. But right now, you can see the Pi cycle top indicator is coming down again to retest this level, and now it's below it right now. So it's important for us, for the price of Bitcoin, to reclaim this orange line and get back above it, because if not, then it's not going to look good, right? It's going to look more bearish than bullish, right? We want to see something more like 2016, 2017, where we come down, maybe close below it a couple of days, but then we quickly reclaim it. So we want to quickly reclaim it and continue higher lows and higher highs, right? Golden ratio multiplier still above this orange line historically has been a good time to buy, right? So this one is still above the orange line, hasn't broken below it. And price forecast, these are different. This chart is basically a combination of different tools just basically superimposed onto each other. So this generally will give you an idea of where the top is and where the bottom is, right? And right now, we are still above that line. We're still in this oversold zone, so it could be a good time to buy, right? This looks very similar to this, right? We're pretty much taking our time, right? Going sideways, but still near the bottom of the range, right? Same thing, going sideways, but it's near the bottom of the range. So this could be a longer cycle, or not longer, just it's not going to have as many, show you. It's probably not going to, get a cleaner chart, have these sort of like big impulsive moves, sprints higher. It's probably going to be more of like a long, drawn out, more parabolic move, right? Something similar like this. Oh, sorry. Going into 2025, right? But that's also, like I said, it's going to look kind of boring, but like I said, it can give you more opportunities to get into the market, right? Unlike 2019, where we had a huge move up in the beginning of the year, a lot of people felt like they missed out. And yeah. So just to summarize, like I said, I do think that September is probably going to be a sideways month, with us probably leaning towards the higher end and retesting this local high, right? But we definitely want to see the 200-day moving average, which is probably going to be around this area by the end of the month, to be reclaimed, right? If not, I could see us plunging down to 20,000, which is going to be really bad. But we definitely want to reclaim the 200-day and then go up and try to reclaim the 30,000 range, right? And this 30,000 range, of course, we said multiple times, it's really important because this 30,000 range, let me just get the weekly chart, was not only our Fibonacci support and resistance level, it was also the support level in the 2021 bull market, right? Which finally broke in 2022. Then we spent almost a year under that, and then we finally reclaimed it earlier this year. And now we're trying to flip this resistance, which is, it still is resistance because we haven't reclaimed 30,000. This Fibonacci and 30,000 level, we're trying to flip that into support. So this could be another reason why we're taking so long, is that this was a strong support back in our bull market, and then it broke in the 2022 bear market. And now we're trying to reclaim this level. And if we're able to do it, something like this, right, I can see a move higher, closer to 50,000. But again, this could take a little longer because it does seem like we are following something out of the 2016 to 2017 move, right? Like I said in my my Twitter or x.com post, I think we're seeing a market cycle that's going to be more like 2016, 2017 than we are 2019, 2021, right? So if that is the case, all we have to say is try to be patient and take these as opportunities possibly to average into your position, right? If Bitcoin does go above 100,000, this is great. You know, you don't have to time everything perfectly to the T, right? As long as you get into your position at a certain area, right? You're still gonna do very well, right? So, anyways, just to summarize, we want to see the price of Bitcoin reclaim the 200 week, right, above this blue line. We also want to see the price of Bitcoin reclaim the whole 26,000 and go above the 200-day moving average, this blue line, right? 26,000 is a very important zone. We want to hold that zone. And I believe that, I predict in September, we're probably going to be sideways and then moving closer to the 200-day moving average, and also this local high around 28,000 right here that we got rejected from just recently, right? I think right now the bulls are a little scared to make any bold moves, so they're going to try to absorb supply slowly over this month, like we saw in December, November and December, right? After this huge crash that like really hurt a lot of the bulls' confidence, so they spent almost 2 months trying to defend this level, timidly absorbing supply here until there was not enough that the bears could do to keep the price down any longer, and we had this huge move up. So I think that's what we're going to see: sideways, bulls absorb supply, and then slowly move up higher, right? If not, if we fail to hold this level, I can see it's plunging down to 20,000. If there is a fundamental change in news, like the SEC approves the spot Bitcoin ETFs, then I can see this just moon to 30,000. But I don't think that's very likely, and they've already delayed it, so it's probably not going to happen. I will end with an analysis of the dollar, because the dollar generally is a good indicator of where the Bitcoin price might go, right? The dollar is inversely proportional, moves inversely proportional to the price of Bitcoin, right? And this whole month, and really starting the middle of July, has been a very strong uptrend in the dollar. And just look at, right, this whole month, except the last couple of sessions, has been basically straight up. And look what happened, right? From the middle of July to now, we've basically been in a downtrend. And what happened in the middle of July in the dollar to now? We've been an uptrend, right? Now here's the good news. The dollar has been going up basically 6 weeks in a row. And we just closed a red candle here. Now it is a hammer candle, which is more bullish than bearish. However, we did close below the 50-week here, which is a silver line. And we are still technically in a it looks close, but it's actually lower close than our previous May close here. So we're still in a downtrend, right? Lower highs and lower lows. So it's possible that we could see the dollar continue down, right? Especially if the upcoming CPI is cooler than expected and the Fed decides to pause, right? I don't think they're going to cut rates so soon, but there's a good possibility that the Fed won't raise rates anymore. They rose rates in the last session, which is partially why the price plunged, but I believe that there's a higher chance that they're going to pause this time. If they do raise rates, it's probably going to be another 25 basis points, but they're probably going to stop there and then consider cutting, probably not this year, but sometime in 2024, right? So if that is the case and the dollar does come down, I could see that giving bulls more ammunition to push the price higher. So that's another thing, another angle to look at. But for now, I do think that this month is probably going to be sideways as the bulls try to get their confidence back to push before pushing the market higher by the end of the month, right? So I'll come back and do a monthly analysis in October. I'll probably drop a few charts on my EddieLux _ So please follow me on Twitter to get those charts. And yes, I will see you next month. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, useful, and informative, please like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. I appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.